SEMO. Trying to parlay that with this meeting. Almost true. I had a number of folks say they'd be online, but
Well, we've got 2 o'clock.
yeah, if we want to get started, we can go ahead and let people file in if they're able to.
All right.
Here's Mayor Kinder.
Who else do I need?
Need the 4. So yeah, we do have a 4.
All right.
Nice, guys.
All right, we'll go ahead and call the meeting to order. I'll start with introductions. I'm Jeremy Tanza, Southeast Missouri Regional Planning Commission.
Alex McElroy, SEMPO staff.
Jim Roach, City of Jackson. Rodney Bullinger, City of Jackson.
Drew Christian, Signal RPC.
Joe Killian, MoDOT.
And online, we have Tom Caldwell, Cecily Cochran, Kelly Green, and Mayor Stacy Kinder.
Thanks for joining us today. I will move ahead with the adoption of the agenda. Do we have a motion to approve?
Move to adopt the agenda.
We have a motion.
Second, Rodney.
Motion second, all in favor?
Aye.
All any opposed? Agenda stands. Approval of the minutes, the December 20th, 2023 meeting. I believe those were sent out early, so if you had a chance to read through those.
Move to approve the minutes.
Motion to approve. We have a second.
I'll second.
Second from Mayor Kinder. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Minutes stand. I have no communications to share at this point, so public comments. I don't believe there's anyone from the public, so we'll just keep going on to new unfinished businesses. Safe Street for All.
Okay, so at our last Safety Oversight Committee meeting earlier this month, we were in preparation for the 2 open houses that we'll be hosting. The first one will be on Wednesday, January 24th at the Jackson Civic Center. It'll be from 4 to 6. It'll be in the North Meeting Room. And then our next one will be the following day on Thursday, January 25th. That one will be in the Shawnee Community Center in Cape Girardeau from 4 to 6. During the meeting, we discussed the public surveys that they had drafted, along with a mapping tool for people to include public input, as in identifying specific areas of safety concerns, placing them on the map, and then providing a description of their safety concern. We're also refining the high injury network between Cape and Jackson, and we are scheduling stakeholder meetings. The stakeholder groups I have so far are the schools, bike ped groups, public safety groups, and human services groups. Those are all ones that we have on the calendar currently.
All right.
That's it for that one for now.
Alex, can you, I'm sorry.
Oh, that's okay. I have the speaker right by me, so I'm gonna adjust the sound real quick.
Okay,
Go
I was just
Go
gonna
ahead.
ask what the date again was for the Shawnee Community Center meeting?
It will be January 25th, which is a Thursday,
Okay,
from 4 to 6 p.m.
got it.
And the Jackson one's at the Civic Center.
Yes, Jackson, sir, in the North Meeting Room, 4 to 6.
Any other questions on Safe Streets for All? Hearing none, we'll move on to the SEMPO Region Trail Connection Study.
All right. At our previous board meeting, we approved a resolution to enter into a contract with Planning Design Studios. With our previous meeting being on December 20th, between vacations and weather, we're still doing a little bit back and forth with the contract. We just want to make sure it reflects all of the scope of work we include in RFP, but I expect that to be finalized this week. And then you'll be hearing a lot more about our trail study after that.
Any other questions on the trail study? Moving on to intersection studies.
Okay, we did hold our 2 stakeholder meetings. The first one for 621 and Perryville Road, the other one for our Route D corridor in Jackson. We also did our site visits. We did our level of service analysis. We kind of game planned different solutions. One additional event that we'll be hosting is an open house at the Jackson Middle School. That'll be on Tuesday, February 6th from 4 to 6 p.m. It'll be an open house forum where we'll have 3 different stations with informational boards. We'll have public input forms for people to provide their input. We'll have a community video playing, and there'll be a small presentation as well. That one, we're doing an open house for that one, specifically in anticipation of any potential grant opportunities that may arise. A lot of grant programs request very specific, direct, and recent public input. So taking that additional step would position that study well for a potential grant in the future. And then again, as a reminder, we're looking at April, May final reports. We may be looking to push forward the Route D corridor a little bit earlier, maybe March timeframe. But that's it for the
Okay. Any other questions on the intersection studies? All right, moving on to the GIS audit.
not a whole lot new. We still have our person dedicated to map making, working on different maps for us. We still have the same maps online for people to check out on our website.
I will say that we did, Teresa of City of Cape said she had recreated Cape Girardeau's existing land use map from their
Yes,
comp plan, and
Yes.
that data has been sent to us, so we are going to work on incorporating that with the Jackson map.
and that I know that was an undertaking, so I appreciate everybody's effort on that one.
All right, any other questions on GIS audit? All right, tip tool selection.
Yes, so our tip committee made the recommendation of Eco Interactive as the preferred tip tool. I did check all of the references that they had provided. All of them gave glowing references on the functionality of the tool. So we'll be working with them in the near future. Once that contract is executed, that'll then trigger the fun part of transitioning all of our data from DTS to this new system, which hopefully is a lot more user friendly.
Is there any timeline on the contract?
This one, I haven't engaged them yet, but it'll just be me saying, we've selected you, send us a contractor review. So probably within the month, we'll be under contract.
All right. Any other questions on the tip tool? Moving right along, item F, origin and destination analytical tool.
Yeah, this one, we're actually doing demos today. We had a demo just prior to this meeting. We had Rob Gilligan with the Cape Chamber, Shad Berner with SEMO Ready. We had Brenda Newburn from the CVB and myself. We did a demo with a company called Replica, which does transportation data. It does specialize in origin destination studies, but it also provides some economic development tools in there for spending trends. And then immediately after this meeting, we'll have another one with Placer AI, which is a tool that I know CMARPC has and has experience using in the past. That one is a little bit more economic development centric, but also provides a lot of travel and trip data along with some origin destination capabilities. So we'll be wrapping our heads around the capabilities, preferences, and if it makes sense to go together as organizations or just kind of go off on our own different direction. So more to come on that, but we are doing demos today on that one.
Any other questions on the origin destination tool? We'll move down to member reports. Start with City of Jackson.
Well, we're just conducting pre-treatment operations basically for the weather event and trying to gear up for any future weather events. Other than that, that's primarily what we're doing. Ronnie, you have anything to add?
All right. Mayor Kinder, do you have anything with City of Cape?
Yeah, I do. I actually have been finalizing a report to actually give out to the community, highlighting last year's activity. And so I could just a quick rundown of major projects that were completed or worked on in the city. Include the West End Rose Streets to Bertling Streets reconstruction was completed. The Sprigg Street and Highway 74 to Southern Expressway is in design and ready to be bidded out. The reconstruction of Sprigg Street between William and Broadway was completed. College Street improvements were completed. The design near the our police station, more famously right in front of Andy's, the intersection there of Marie Louise and Kiwanis and Broadview. Those improvements, the design for those improvements was completed, and the construction is well underway and probably close to being completed there. And a lot of flooding mitigation projects, especially in the Perryview, Broadway areas near Capitol Park. That was completed, and we're very happy to say with all the rain that we got last week that seems to be working very well. So that's a real happy celebration. And I think what most people are interested in knowing is about Lexington Avenue. That reconstruction work is under contract. And so next year there'll be a mess there, but needed, very, very much needed work done there. And hopefully citizens will be very happy about that very soon.
Thank you.
Yep.
We'll move on to MoDOT.
A few things to mention. First, we have a tentative schedule for the year as far as LPA opportunities. The first will be, and these are tentative, but we're just trying to kind of get out in front of it. But basically, the TAP program, we're expecting a call early March, potentially early March through the end of April. And Chris wanted me to specifically mention that it would be advantageous for the communities if those projects were thoroughly vetted with the community and with constructability. There's an increase of funding and a sense of urgency for the TAP applications. And what we've been seeing is that some of the applications don't seem to have good estimates, and that potentially they need right of way. When they get selected, we find out that they need right of way when none was anticipated. And obviously, those things can throw a project back 6 to 8 months or potentially longer if there's an issue with the right of way. The next one is the TEAP program that I think both communities here, City of Cape and City of Jackson, are both taking advantage of. We're anticipating that for early August. And again, it's just something that's kind of having your back pocket ready to kind of have, if you have an idea of a project you might like to look at some traffic engineering on. And in the BRO and BFP cycle, we're looking for those potentially early October. And again, these are just kind of throwing them out there as an advance notice so that you have plenty of opportunity to look at some of those. I realize most of our county representatives are not here, but the TAP and the TEEP could be good for this group. US 61, we've still got utility work going on there, some stuff kind of going there. And next month, we're anticipating a meeting for Route K. I think for the Route K and 25 intersection project, looking to have a public meeting next month. Nothing set in stone yet, but obviously we'll be letting the cities know, and probably have some news releases for that. And I think so. Chris was not able to be here. Chris is part of a statewide committee on the eclipse that's coming up in April.
Cool.
Is that coming back through Perryville again?
It is.
I think this time it's done a little different tracks. I know it's supposed to come through Dexter, I think also, or Poplar Bluff. So there'll be some excitement there coming up. Potentially some traffic issues, but I don't know how bad that would be, and that's a couple months away. So I'm sure we'll hear a little bit more about that. And lastly, the urban boundaries. I haven't met with City of Jackson yet, but I did meet with City of Cape to go over some of the areas that were not approved that they had requested. There's a few for City of Jackson that have been submitted to kind of be included, but they're not near as many. City of Jackson didn't submit near as many, so I still need to get with you, Rodney, or Janet, or whoever you prefer that we meet with on that. And it's STIP season, so we are in the middle of trying to update estimates, right-of-way estimates, construction estimates, and different things like that for the new STIP. And look forward to having that out. Probably anticipate again early May like usual. So that's all that I have.
Joe, with the TAP, do you remember the TAP open in March? Do you remember if that's a 1 year or a 2 year program?
I think that it's supposed to be 2 years this time, Alex, but I don't know. I would hate to give you a definitive answer on that. He just said that he did say that they're anticipating more funding, and I can't remember if it's like towards the end of the funding cycle, we're trying to double that up and go ahead and use a bunch of it up, or try to get maybe some better projects. But as part of that, he did say that we want to make sure that we're getting good projects, that they're able to be constructed within the reasonable progress policy.
Mm-hmm.
We typically look at 2 years to do that if we can, to make sure those federal funds are spent. Otherwise, the feds,
Going back.
they kind of want to pull some of those back, and we have actually had that happen. So
yeah,
we would just assume not have any issues with our local planning partners. So.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Any questions for Joe with MoDOT?
You know, I have a question and a comment, if I may. One, and Joe, you may not be the person to ask, but you know, with the short grass, it's obvious that the I-55 corridor, especially the middle median there, you can just see all the trash, you know, that's prevalent there, especially, you know, in the area right around all of our fast food, you know, restaurants right off the highway and whatnot. Is there somebody specific I need to contact about seeing what might be able to be done there for trash pickup?
So we would typically MoDOT utilizes the incarcerated crews out of the Charleston facility.
Oh, okay.
To help with some of those, but I don't expect that they run very much during the winter.
Yeah,
so,
I typically, it's like once a year, kind of late summer. That seems to be the
right.
Yeah.
So it is something though. I will make a note to have a conversation with Chris Crocker about, just to see if that's something we need to have a look at. Maybe see if we can't find another way to kind of do it. I think we typically in the spring would have a cycle where we have volunteers get together and spend a little bit of time obviously in a safe manner, because you're gonna be out on the roadway in that area, but I'll bring that up to Chris and see if we can't, get a point of emphasis
Okay.
and just see what we can do about that.
Okay, I appreciate that. And then two, I just wanted to highlight, thank all of you, and especially Chris. I know he was very involved in the Lexington Route W roundabout, decorating or there's a private citizen that wants to, bring a statue there and really revitalize that and make that roundabout a very nice looking thing. And that being MoDOT property, there's been a lot of coordination required. And just wanted to thank you all because the process has been speedy and just really exemplary from you guys. So we on the city side, and certainly the private donor who wants to see this happen are just very appreciative. So thanks.
Thank you.
Any other questions for MoDOT? All right. Tom, you have anything with IDOT?
No, other than I had hoped to be down there today, but didn't make it. Alex, I'll get back with you on our budget template discussion here in the next few days, probably. So other than that, no report.
All right. Any questions for IDOT? All right. Cecily, Federal Highway.
Afternoon, everybody. I don't have much to report today. I know that Dan received a submission from MoDOT on the functional classification changes. So we'll be reviewing those and getting approvals as needed, but I don't have anything else to report at this time.
Anyone have any questions for Federal Highway? All right, thank you. We'll move on to a staff report.
Only other item I have is next month, believe it or not, we'll be talking about our FY25 fiscal year. So I'll be bringing in lists of potential projects and soliciting ideas. All
right. Does anyone have any other questions or comments for the group? All right, hearing none, we'll take a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, meeting's adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.